What's going on, folks? I couldn't get my mind together. I was just talking to someone, and it was relative to that video I did about the checkerboard tie analogy I gave you guys about the suppressors and stuff. And I had to bring it up front because I kept forgetting, you know, what I really wanted to say about that. You know, sometimes these thoughts come to you and you get so excited you want to talk. And I just wanted to pick you guys' brains out there and see what you thought. You know, we've been doing so well at this lately here. But I want to talk about, first of all, human inclinations, right, which are what we have in this problem, and conscious disposition, right, the inability to look into yourselves. Those two things, I keep telling you. And they create jealousy and envy, and that's part of a covet, right? To be severely jealous or envious of someone for something they have or something, right? So I use covet a lot, and a lot of you people hear this word covet and you think to yourselves, well, how am I a coveter if I have everything? I don't want anything from someone, they're jealous of me. But that is the covet, folks. Your desire for those things to be coveted. You want people to be envious and jealous of you. You get what I'm saying? When you're wanting the same with all of these people, right? On real, actual levels. So he was talking about the checkerboard tie thing, and he was talking about that situation where I gave the analogy about how the checkerboard tie people suppress and and he was saying something to the effect of I wasn't proving in what I said because I was saying that they represent or their faces on the box or something. I was giving to that effect or something. And so he was saying, he had shown me this YouTube commercial or something that came up. And it was this Asian guy who had a company or something, and the biggest selling whatever it was or something. And the guy was sitting there and they were showing some of his background and some of the product and different highlights of him in different places and stuff, and and it was being narrated. And so the commercial goes off, and so he said, see, this person is from another country, they're representing themselves, they're speaking for themselves, and there is no checkerboard tie. And I said, look more carefully, right? And so when I had an opportunity to dissect the video, I explained to him about this checkerboard tie situation. In a very fine detail of the video, yes, you saw that person from whoever nation they were from and their culture doing their thing and selling their products and stuff like that. But the whole idea of what the product was, how much it was going to cost, where you could find it, and what you thought about the actual person itself was being narrated, folks. And the narrator's voice had a checkerboard tie situation, was a checkerboard tie thing. So really, he realized what I was saying. See, the narrator is the person that you were listening to in that commercial, trying to show you something, how they do things. Doesn't matter if you think that it's completely free of the bullshit. It's always full of bullshit, folks. Everything. And I can show you in any example. This propaganda and stuff. You're dealing with narcissists and sociopaths and demoniacs, folks, who are hell-bent on taking you to the hellish worlds. Why? Because we're in reckoning and they're going to be destroyed. And the best thing for them is ultimately they're not going to be able to enjoy this existence anymore. So the fun of it is to just take all the fools with them. The damn. Which is why we're talking today. Human inclination, right? Conscious disposition. So as humans, we're inclined to do certain things, right? We're inclined to like babies and, puppies and kittens and stuff like that because we're built like that, right? On some level. But then on the flip side of us, we have this dark side to humanity where we consistently murder and we kill those same babies and those same puppies and stuff. Same puppies we love and adore, we kill them, right? So, I had this example, and I was in the store today, shopping or whatever, getting some groceries or something. And these perfect examples set themselves up, and it gives me education because, like I said, I'm learning from them every day. So I'm seeing examples. If I'm ever going to question what I'm saying about society, I'm getting my reinforcements on a daily basis. You get what I'm saying? But anyway, I was in line at the store, and there was this beat-faced lady, this really shriveled, I call her, she had a really scowly look on her face, like she was in really bad discomfort or something, right? And this is that energy I'm talking about, folks. That's why I said on a certain level, I'm not even going to describe the person's ethnic background, anything, because that's not really important. It's about that energy. But I will say, right, because of human inclination, right, and conscious disposition, we have to factor in certain things. This society is going a certain way because of covet, because of these things, because of ignorance and foolishness. You understand? So I have to put this in there a little bit and use that checkerboard tie thing. We'll just use that. But there was this beat-faced lady in the store with a scowl on her face. And they were behind me in line, and I had someone in front of me, and I'm just patiently waiting with my cart and everything. And, you know, they had a few groceries, and there was this little girl, every bit of maybe 8 or 9 years old. And she made a comment, and she made a very rude comment, but it was literally a racist comment, folks. And she said something to the effect of, she said, I heard someone stealing in here. I heard they said someone was stealing in here. They must be stealing bananas. And the beat-faced lady looked at her and said, who was in here stealing? I wonder who could it be? And they laughed together, right? And I wasn't hurt or anything, because folks, I've realized the serious ignorance of humans, and I've realized who has this energy, whom I saw in the lady. I saw the evil in her. I saw the energy and the scowl and everything. And so, you know, I wasn't hurt by what I was looking at. It's just a product of vibration, folks. I'm in high vibration. I'm going to get these things. But what really touched me on another level was how we implant, right, that human inclination versus the conscious thing, right? And I was trying to understand what is in us that makes us see other humans and not see the humanists. We've been talking about this. This is what I keep trying to get you guys to understand. Because that's the sickness. That's the real sickness when you talk about the covet, folks. It's the thing that's going to damn most of you guys, you know? But I marveled at the fact that this young child saw this grown-ass adult, clearly middle-aged, clearly, you know, at least, you know, old enough to be their parent, clearly. And they're just a child. They were no more than 9 or something, 9 or 10 years old. And they saw me as an adult in a space where they didn't even see me in a way that they could respect me. Even though I was showing respect to all of the other patrons. I was minding my business. I wasn't touching anyone's card, or I had my own stuff. And I'm trying to show you these things. It's projection. The narcissists, racists, all of these people have psychological problems, folks, and they project. If I'm not bothering you, if I'm minding my business, what reason would you have to try to insult me? That's where we get into the covet, folks. The covet is your idea of who you think you are in society, or who you know, your blood is golden or something. And you really believe this. Not realizing that I'm standing next to the sun. I'm looking at people. You people who believe yourselves to be royal and of high authority. Bullshit, I say. Right? The earth is my family. The earth is holding your landscape, folks. So which one of us has the more of the royal roots? Huh? So I laugh at the ignorance of people who don't know who they're standing next to. And, you know, I'm not going to pick on the child, you know, bless her, little hellion, you know, because that's what she is, folks. And I'm trying to show you the product of toxicity when you have a demonic heart, when you think in ways of those ham throwers, you know. From that story I was telling you about the soldiers who threw those provisions in the ocean, or the water, or the slave owners who harmed their slaves, folks, because they could not regard them as humans. They couldn't see them as humans. They were objects. But really, when we take that on another level, when we talk about energy, that's narcissism. Racism is just the application of that narcissism. It could be something else. In another situation, you'll have two people, and that's what we get into too, because in that very same breath, folks, I saw someone of the very same ethnic background a short while later. As a matter of fact, the clerk in the store and the gentleman who was helping me bag the groceries and stuff, and they were extremely nice. This lady, you know, I could feel her energy, folks, and this is what I'm trying to explain to you about when you gotta get out your groups. I don't care what group you're in. You have to understand on a certain level this is about energy. And in a new kingdom and society, folks, this bullshit is not going to be tolerated. You walking around thinking you have golden blood and you have shit streaks in your underwear or something. Underarm funkers. Someone has put in your head Even though you have stinky breath in the morning, someone has put it in your head that you are royal, folks. I'm in the presence of gods on a daily basis, folks. Honor y'all. And I have these humans, these booty funkers, who are so caught up in delusion on a pedestal of some sort of themselves that they are literally willing to insult strangers. Now, when you see this sickness, when you look at that footage when those little kids were going in the schoolhouse back in the 50s and they were getting rocks thrown at them, it was that same type of energy, folks. That's why I said it was about racism on some level today, because it could be on any group. Any group that's talking about who they are, folks, in higher reality. You will not be allowed in God's new kingdom, folks. This is about vibration, folks. If you have positive energy, then you can be in oneness. If you have the ability to reason that, you can stay in oneness, folks. It makes no logical sense, the things that we do to each other, but I just reasoned it. I sat back and looked at this young child, completely mannish as shit, which is a reflection of the actual person whom raised this child, the beat-faced lady, whom I saw dark energy. So what does that tell me scientifically, by your standard of science? That it was passed on, folks. See what I'm trying to explain to you? So when you think about how that sickness has been passed on through you all, any of you who covet, even if you're not a part of this particular checkerboard tag group, but you want to be a part of it, so you act and delve into ways of think and do things and actions that uplift that covet and foolishness, folks. You're going to be cast with that lot. It's a shame that even children, and wrath, folks, when you think about the Noah's Ark story, remember, women and children were also cast, folks. It's just a product of ignorance and damnation. It's just how it works, folks. If you teach a child and feed them lower vibration, they are worthless, folks. They are growing up in, you have erected that tree to grow slanted. Does it make any sense what I'm saying to you, folks? You have sown the seed of a slanted tree, folks. So there'll be no use to a new society going forward. And I just shook my head and smiled. And I know maybe they thought they were harming me, but it was really a shame that someone would have pride in their heart to reason another human is less than human. But when you get to the real core and boil it down to what this is about esteem. That person feels low and they want to uplift themselves and feel better than what they are. And the way to do that is to create a covet. Create some type of dynamic where that puts them over someone else. These people steal. I'm standing there. I got on better clothes than they got on. I'm standing in the store. I'm buying more things than they are. I'm spending cash and all of this. Why would you reason that I would steal something? But the little girl was only doing what she was taught, folks. What she hears Uncle Bubba and all of them talk about on a daily basis, right? The ham throwers, folks. I'm not necessarily... And that's what I'm trying to explain to you on any level, folks. Any group. I need you guys at this point to understand how serious this is. We'll see how funny these banana jokes are when they're in that snowstorm coming up. You understand what I'm trying to explain to you, folks? Or when they're on their way home and somehow the car just gives out. The electronics in the car just spazzes out or something. They're stuck on the side of the road or something. Well, they give two thoughts about the guy in the store that they were trying to insult who didn't bother them. He hadn't said anything to them. And I'm just simply buying my groceries and going about my way. But I have someone making banana jokes. Even though that person probably had bananas in their shopping cart. Do you understand what I'm trying to explain to you folks? See, you see what I'm saying? It's not about something. It's not about technical things. It's about esteem thing. Low self-esteem. The losers of society, it doesn't matter what race they are. You will see my face again, right? It's a shame that person, neither of those people I just discussed will see my face in this new society. So it doesn't really matter going forward, But I'm just making a point to you guys, and I'll come back and we'll do a better video. But I had to get out here today and while I was on my mind. You live in a society every day where you're rat raced. And you are controlled by these checkerboard tires, folks. The suppressors suppress you in every way, folks. This is why there's a need for liberation. This is why the Most High is bringing reckoning, right? His wrath is behind all of the actions that these oppressors have done and all of the things that you guys have brought into. The covets, And I love to see you are people who don't like bananas, and you people, I love to see what you're going to say to the Most High when you face him, folks. When he shows you that moment in your pride in your heart and foolishness. And how you're going to reason that to him when he's holding your lives, folks. He's holding the lives of all things in the heavens, folks. Who's providing for you? So y'all stay tuned, because we got a lot more to go. We'll be talking soon. Y'all take care.